years ago, most plan sponsors had no idea that there were fiduciaries of a qualified retirement plan. Nowadays, that's not the case. Most plan sponsors know that fiduciary oversight is real and carries with it a lot of liability as well as a lot of work to do. So of course they've looked for help, and the industry has provided a lot of different solutions. The problem is that a lot of those solutions have also created a lot of confusion. So what we call Fiduciary Soup is what we're here to talk about and make sense of today. Let's keep it real simple. To be a fiduciary means that you have an expressed legal liability to do what's in the best interest of the plan and, most importantly, the plan participants. The most common fiduciary that you see is a 321. In this case, it means that the investment advisor can outsource the investment oversight of the plan in a way that they can give advice but not discretion. They can do that both to the sponsor and fund selection monitoring and participant engagement. But again, no ability to actually make a change to investment. That's the fundamental difference from a 321 to a 338. A 338 is when that same investment advisor also has discretion to make changes to the account without the expressed written approval of the plan sponsor. So while that is considered a higher level of fiduciary oversight, you need to think it through from a practicality standpoint. Do you want a third party to have the right to be able to make a fund change without your express knowledge? And with it, there's typically a higher cost. Now, there's limited scope and full scope. Really differentiates things. For example, a limited scope simply means that you're taking a small piece of that fiduciary oversight that the sponsor owns and assisting with that. For example, there's a lot of national carriers who help out with fund selection. That's great, but their oversight is specific only to that one pain point. A full scope means that it's more customized and that the liability and the oversight and the support is for the totality of the investment support to the plan and much more customized to your individual needs. But if you actually looked at it, most of the issues around plan governance today is not really on the investment side. It typically is on the administration side. And that's where a 316 comes in. A 316 is when a firm or an entity or an individual has signed on and said that they are going to offload that administrative oversight and do it in that same fiduciary best interest standard. Now the difference is, again, limited versus full scope. Limited scope means that you're helping out with small pieces of it, i.e. there are many national TPAs and record keepers who can take elements, for example, fund notice distribution, own that and call it 316 support services. True, but isolated and limited only to that specific need, not the overall administrative issues. A full scope means that you're typically stated plan administrator in the document, and that again, you're overseeing the totality of the administration needs to the plan in a fiduciary manner. Very different standard service model, different cost structure. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of numbers that can create a lot of confusion, but the key is keep it simple. Starts with number one, knowing what you have today. Ask your covered service providers what their level, what their status is. Number two, define what your needs are and make sure that your needs are aligned with what you're getting. Often, there's some service gaps. And if there are service gaps, RSG is to help you in putting this together. At the end of the day, I will argue all day long that all these codes and fiduciary soup discussion, while important, is less important than having effective plan, governance, policy, and procedure.
When you are ready, RSG is happy to help.